Hello. What's up, YouTube? It's been a minute since I've talked to y'all. Um, right now my locks are covered as of right now because I am currently trying to do my nails. I'ma uncover these holes um, once I finish these. But anyways, it has been. Let me see how long it has been since my locks have been in my head, because I literally just, as I am uploading this video on a Monday, I am just also uploading a video that should have been uploaded a long time ago in June, but I didn't do it because I low key procrastinated the hell out of it, and just whatever. Okay, let's go to Google. Okay, so between to now to today. How to spell I swears. It has been 292 days. 292 days since I've had these locks in my head, y'all. And that means it's been, damn, wait, what? It's already been 9 months? What? It's been that long? 9 months and 19 days since I've had my locks in, and that's how long I haven't really talked to y'all since. And I don't know, man. Like, lately I have been in such a silent mode when it comes to my socials. Like, I've been very silent on my socials. I've been pretty silent in real life. I've been pretty silent in a lot of different pools of conversation that I was a part of, and I'm kind of just getting back into the wanting to socialize, not really against my will or anything, but the wanting to socialize with other people and converse with the outside world. That has been something that I haven't really been doing a lot. I've been kind of isolating a little more, especially because I just got a new job and I'm about to start, I'm about to be a PRN for patient transport as I take my RBT full time, and go through with that and everything, which that has been a journey within itself. But if it's one thing that's been on my mind a lot recently, and has kind of been not clouding me, but it's definitely been putting me in a very it's been putting me in a grievance type of state, is my family. My family is, to put it best foot forward, is complex trauma for me. Like, when it comes to my family on paper, you could say it's pretty, picture perfect. I mean, I have both set of parents in my life. My parents are still around, both of them. Physically, I physically live with my grandparents, and I have my sister here. I live in a very fortunate situation on paper. I live in a very privileged, scenario on paper. And, I was really thinking about it today, especially because if it's one person that has been floating in my mind, not one person, but multiple people that have been floating in my mind, is my mom and my uncle. Now, those two individuals serve a lot of significance for me. Um, and part of me is scared that the one time they pay attention to my social media is the time that they see this video and know that they are being, like, talked about, because yes, you are, but at the same time I feel like, especially as I near to turning 20 this year, and I have done and been through so much introspection, and I've been through so much different scenarios within the time frame of being 19 and going on to 20 years of life. I feel like it's time that I kind of open up this conversation of two people who served significance in my life, who are two sides of the same coin when it comes to negligence. When it comes to negligence, emotional distance, and like, I can't really think of anything else because I know there's something else, but you know. Oh, abandonment. When it comes to emotional negligence, physical abandonment, and when it comes to, I can't even remember those the fuck I said, but besides the point, these two people have not just these two people, but my mom and my uncle have served very pivotal very pivotal roles in terms of how I operate around the rest of sometimes my family. And there's times where, even with, like, some of my peers and everything in between, and with, honestly, I'm not even going to say that it's just them two, because it's other people in my family as well, but it's just highlighting them two because they are the main ones who have affected my life in a way that I feel like, to tell them brutally, it's not gonna hurt, like, feelings per se, but it's definitely gonna kind of like strike a nerve of, whoa, what do you mean by that? Or, oh, I wish you didn't want to tell me this earlier. It's like, no, I didn't tell you this earlier because I didn't know how to tell you, but I'm doing it now on YouTube, and if y'all find it, then shoot, we can start a conversation, whatever. So, like I said, and I guess I'm doing my nails right now. Y'all seen how much, like, my nails have grown? Like, these are my natural nails, by the way. These are natural. So my mom and my uncle serve, like I said, they serve very pivotal moments in my life where I can truly say it has affected me in both positive and negative. My mom, she's kind of been on and off when it comes to emotional trust and emotional vulnerability. She's one of those individuals that, for me personally, I kind of pick and choose what I tell her. She kind of has a push and pull kind of thing. Like, there'll be times where, okay, she says that she'll do XYZ, and she'll do XYZ by performing ABC. And, it's like, okay, in the past I was like, okay, maybe, she's showing progress and everything. And then she'll fall back into that same habit of 1, 2, 3. And ABC no longer holds any weight or value specifically to me, because you said you were going to do XYZ and perform that by doing ABC, but instead you reverted back to 1, 2, 3 after giving a couple of weeks of ABC. Like, y'all see where I'm going with this? It's kind of like a whole thing of, like, once you feel like, in my view, and this is how I'm viewing this, it's like, once you feel satisfied enough to kind of like leave the situation alone again and kind of leave it up to, player's choice, it's like, then you stop showing up, you stop checking in like that. I mean, like, she has, like, she has her moments where, like, especially as of lately, she's starting to go back to ABC. But part of me wants to be like, maybe she's gonna stay at ABC and this and that. But another part of me also knows better, and it's like, yeah, so I don't really trust this to last very long. So I'm going to just accept ABC for as long as it's here, and then once she goes back to 1, 2, 3, it won't hurt as much, even though it'll still hurt an unconscious part of me that is hoping that ABC still, is in the practice. I consciously know better. I know better than to trust that, because it's happened too many times, and it's happened multiple times where it's like, okay, I think she's actually turning around and this and that. And as soon as I put, you know, all of that trust there again, all of a sudden finds a way to just revert back. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, well, damn, like, you were quite literally, just doing this not too long ago. So what happened? And I mean, when it comes to the complication of parents and everything in between, it's like a thing of, I'm accepting how everything is just rolling out, and I'm, understanding that it's not my fault, but I am a product of, the choices that were being made and everything in between. And, I remember it was one night I was, being the emotional baby that I am, and, props to my boyfriend for dealing with my emotional ups and downs like that. But I remember telling him, and for me, it kind of made me stop and really think about it, because in my house we meow, okay? Like, we weird like that. We meow sometimes, okay? So if y'all don't like that, then shut the fuck up. But in this house we meow, and I remember, like, me and my sister, we would just be meowing at her and stuff like that. We would just be meowing. And if it's one thing that I kind of, like, put to myself after I told my boyfriend, I was like, well, I meow at her quite literally because, that's going to get her attention. I know it's going to get her attention. And even if it lasts for a little bit, at least she saw me that day and everything in between. Like, nowadays, it's more of like, I don't be seeing her. And, she'll be like, dang, I haven't seen you all day and this and that. And for me, it's kind of foreign because I'm not really used to that side of my mother. But, like, I mean, as she gets older, she's definitely going to change. And, the mother-daughter relationship, I don't know how it's going to look in the future, because right now I just know I'm keeping her at arm's length. I'm keeping her close enough to where she's still in the know, but not so close to where she knows, like, every, like itty-bitty little detail about what's going on in my life and stuff like that, and everything in between. Like, even my dad and me, even though me and my dad are closer and everything in between than I am with my mom, like, there's still some things that I keep to myself, and I think that's a good balance. But, like, there's times where I would, I want to, like, tell my mom and stuff, where I'm like, hey, so, like, there's times where I feel like you're operating out of guilt. Because I'm going to put it to y'all this way, like, I know my mom did not want kids. I know she didn't want kids. I know she did not, like, ideally want to, go through with having children, especially as early as she did. Like, for me personally, in my opinion, I feel like you should live your 20s out. Even if, like, I don't care if you get married at, like, 23 or, like, 24 or 25. Like, if you want to tie that knot around that time, that is up to you. But kids, I feel like, especially because, I don't really care what your reasoning is for kids and stuff like that. I feel like that's really just not my place to speak on in terms of, like, why you should have one. But, like, for me, in my opinion, I feel like when you should have one matters the most, especially when it comes to just, like, development and how you show up as a parent. Now, not gonna lie, some people can do that shit young. They could be between the ages of 19 and 21, give birth to a whole rack of fucking kids and be content with that. But I know that for me personally, in my consciousness, I don't want to bring a kid into this world and have that kid damn near struck. Like, I want to give my kids the best possible life, like, that I know I can give them. I want to give them more than what I have right now, and I have a decent amount, and I live very abundantly, and I don't take that for granted whatsoever. And I feel like to have kids and to bring them in this world and knowing that you're putting them in some fucked up situation, you're a fucked up parent for that, point blank. But sometimes you can't help it, and sometimes you can. Like I said, I can't really speak on that because it's really not my prerogative to tell people what to and not to do when it comes to their journey on children and stuff like that. But just be aware of the situation that you are putting potential child in. If you are in a situation where it is not the proper conditions for a child, and even if it's not the best of neighborhood, if you do not have the money to carry that child, do not carry it, point blank. There's times where I think to myself, and I'm like, I wonder how my mother would be if I was not, born at the time that I was. Like, I mean, I'm born in 2006, and don't get me wrong, this is not me saying to the internet that I want to die or anything, okay? I just want to put that out there because YouTube guidelines be ready to bop somebody, and I'll be like, girl, that's not what I meant, but okay. But what I'm saying is, there's times where I wonder if, I would be in a better maternal relationship and situation if she had just waited just a little bit longer. Waited just a little bit longer, gave herself the time to do what she wanted with her career, live her 20s out and stuff like that. Because for me, that is one of my reasons why I don't even want kids for real until like my late 20s, early 30s, because I'll be like, I've done everything that I wanted to do, when I get married to my freaking boyfriend, like, we've done everything that we wanted to do. We lived where we wanted to live. We traveled where we wanted to travel. We've seen who we wanted to see, ate what we wanted to eat. Like, we pretty much lived out our 20s and allowed ourselves to, even though we're never going to stop growing at all, if it's one thing that I've learned from my mom completely, is to live your 20s out and don't settle so quickly. Don't settle so quickly, because how you are at this age now, like, I am 19 going on 20 years old. I bet y'all by the time I keep releasing these Loc'd journey videos and stuff like that, where I'm at the age of 25, half of these videos that I'm talking about now is not going to be within the same cadence, the same rhythm, and the same time signature as to when I turn 25. I promise y'all, my videos are going to be completely different by the time I turn 25. I'm not going to be the same Amber that is sitting here in her childhood bedroom right now with a vanity in the back and a stack of books on the motherfucking nightstand. It's probably going to be in an apartment, in a townhome. You're probably going to be seeing like two cats running around and fighting each other. You don't know. We never know. And there's times where I just think about that and I grieve that for my mother, because I'm like, damn, like, you really, like, did not give yourself the ability to leave from under your parents' wing and just, like, explore shit for yourself and see how you are as a person, because that energy is starting to reek. Like, I remember the time where my mom got mad at me because I asked her for a ride to my friend's house in the neighborhood. Like, how are you going to get mad at me for asking you, a licensed adult, to take me to my friend's house? But there's times where I really just gotta, like, this happened when I was younger, and there's times where I gotta, like, sit down and remember that my mom quite literally did not have the same childhood like I did, where I was able to go out with my friends, stay out with my friends. I had one sleepover, like, traditional sleepover in my life. Like, actually, I had a couple, but that was when I got a little older and I could drive. But, like, quite literally, I sat there and I was like, there's times where I literally forget that my mother did not have a fucking childhood. And all she did was just go to school, go to church, go home, and repeat. And for me, that's a little depressing because, I mean, yes, have your faith, but like also have an identity outside of that as well. Because an identity can be multiple and they can all mesh into, one singular person. But that's another conversation for another time. Just when it comes to my mom, there's times where I just wish that she was. It's like I don't know. It's like I can feel the guilt sometimes. Like there's times where I'm like, I can feel the guilt. I can feel that you're asking me this or you're wanting to do this because there's some type of underlying guilt there because I've gone like 20 years with a rocky relationship with you at some point in time. Like from the age of 13 to 18 going on 19, my mother has been emotionally negligent and stagnant. Like, she would be here physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even in the finances, would not be here. Would not be here. Like, there's times where I literally remember I'm asking to, it's like, hey, can I go on, the ride with you on Sundays and stuff? Mind you, Sunday drives, it always had to be just her and her only. And for me, I found that so unfair, especially like, when I'm like a young teenager and I've gone through so much in my younger and mid-teens. I've gone through so much. And the times where it's like, I needed a mom, I did not tell her anything because I'm like, I just know she's going to push it off or, whatever the case may be, or she's just going to like give me some type of, monologue where I just got to kind of accept, ooh, I love the color. Some type of monologue where I just kind of got to just accept the fact that she don't want to hear this shit and I'm going to just, go somewhere else and whatever it like. I've been in on and off therapy so much, but it's really whatever. But anyways, besides the point, like my mom now, she's being present-ish and stuff like that, like she's kind of on and off with that. I mean, it's really not my prerogative. It's really whatever. But all I know is that, there's a lot of emotional damage that she's like done a lot. And I remember even sitting here sometimes and there's times where I'm like, I don't want to like snap at my mom. I don't want to do that. But there's times where she was like, why am I getting blamed for your mess? If you left it there, if you are not going to get up in time to clean that pot and put that pot right back, there is an issue and a problem. Because I'm like, you don't want to be in the house anyway. Half the time, don't want to be in the house. Don't want to be in the house. When you wake up in the morning, you cook and you leave the evidence there. So then me and my sister got to get yelled at. Because for some reason, a grown adult doesn't want to clean up after themselves. I don't even care if somebody else is going to come pick it up. It's just the sole matter of the fact that I got to hear that. I got to hear that. It's not you. I got to hear that. I got to listen to that. I got to, take some type of fault for stuff that I didn't even use. And if anything, when I cook in the kitchen, if I want to be discreet, I at least leave the kitchen cleaner than I found it. So that way niggas ain't got nothing to say to me. And even if they do got something to say to me, I'm going to be like, I mean, you saw how I left that kitchen, right? Because I really got nothing to hide. I don't care. Like, if I made something, shoot. If you know about it, you know about it. If you don't know about it, then forever hold your peace, man. Like, shut up. Ain't got time to be hearing all of that. But there's times where I'm just like, dang, man, like, you ever think to just, think about a sister here. Like, I'm trying to think. But besides the point, my mom, she is doing her best with what she know and stuff like that. But there is a point in time where accountability has to be met. Accountability has to be met. It has to be met. Accountability has to be said. It has to be had. Like, accountability has to be somewhere in the cards where it's like, yes, I'm trying my best. And even, I accepted her apology the one year for my birthday where she took me to the beach and just, she basically apologized to me for everything. And I was like, it's like, I'm not going to hold no whatever and stuff like that. But no. And I wish I emphasized this a little more where it's like, just know it's going to be a little difficult to get through to me because you've shown me patterns that gives me every reason not to emotionally trust you. To not put all of my emotional eggs in one mental basket. Like, I'm inching it with you. I'm inching it. I'm not giving it to you fully. I'm inching it. And this is where it comes to my uncle. He used to be kind of like one of my safe spaces and stuff like that. I used to talk to him a lot and everything in between. And let's just say a little event happened that I remember telling my aunt, I'm like, look, gang, I know that you want to do this and this is what you want to like, whatever. I mean, like, but can you kind of just hold off until we're both out of the house, as in me and my sister. My sister graduates next year from high school, and I got one more year of community college until I, transfer and everything. So that's that. But at the time, I was going out of state, so I kind of wasn't really like thinking about that. But I was like, hey man, can you just like hold off, because I'm like, the house literally just got peaceful to a degree. Like, I literally just got this house together to a point where I can simply exist without too much going on and without me having to be a middleman for everybody else. After he pulled that, not only did he defy my trust with that and proceeded to use some confidential information that me and my sister both told him and our aunt, and proceeded to use that against our grandmother. And I didn't even know that was even said until my sister said something a long time ago, being like, yeah, I wish I told you earlier, but I call my grandmother Yaya. It's like, Yaya was kind of spitting about this, that he, and stuff like that. And if it's one thing that my grandmother does not do, especially if she's not in the know about something, is she's going to tell the truth. Like, my grandmother is going to tell the truth, especially about situations where she doesn't know about and she's coming to somebody with clarification, and she's like, hey, like, word on the curb is, can you tell me if this is true or not? And gang, when I tell you, that angered me, because I'm like, so you used my confidential information to justify something that, first of all, ain't got nothing to do with me. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with me, ain't got nothing to do with my sister. I don't even know how we ended up being a part of that, like, lower drop. But besides that and everything, my uncle stopped showing up and everything in between. Like, he stopped showing up, he stopped, like, talking and everything and stuff like that. And I remember we had, like, one conversation where, for me, I'm gonna put it to y'all this way: my uncle is a white passing man. He could pass as any other race if he wanted to, but he's black. He's a Negro. Okay, I just want to put that out there, because most people, when they see my family, my mom's side is pretty light, my dad's side is pretty dark, and when you mix it together, you get a milk Hershey chocolate bar. Thank you very much. Anyways, bro is black. Bro is black. Bro is black. but he is white passing. White passing. About as white as this shirt. That's just an exaggeration, but you get the point. I remember talking to him one time when I was out, out of state, and I was just like, me personally, I don't know how I feel about, going onto plantations leisurely for weddings. And I feel like even if it's just simple information, I still feel some type of like, why are you stepping foot on my ancestors' graveyards, and like they cannot fully rest because is walking over their heads constantly 365 and a quarter days of the year, like is walking on these like properties. And for me, it's like I would love to go and onto a plantation and learn about what my ancestors went through, especially because tracing back lineage, I got some lineage that was in one of the major antebellums. One of the major antebellums. And I also found a slave house from my last name that I own from some random man that fucked up my lineage down in Georgia just with a simple Google search. And I figured that shit out, and I'm about to do more deeper research on that actually, because I was astounded by the fact that I was like, wow, and there's an actual paper with an actual paper with stuff on it that says who these people are, how old they were, and what they did. Holy shit. But yeah, and I told him, I was like, gang, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really comfortable with that, because like it's already bad enough that the living descendants of my deceased ancestors can't catch a break. And we're alive. We can't catch a break. Simply because I am darker than you. Can we please give the deceased a break? Can we please just give them a break? Like, get out, basically. Get out. Leave them alone. If you want to know so much about it, there's books. There's books. And there's a whole entire place called the World Wide Web that has curated. I think y'all be able to do that. I mean, I don't know. Just for me personally, it's just like, I don't know how I feel about it's just the whole, like, the argument I was making is just, we allow too much in our sacred spaces, and then everybody else gets to have a sacred space, but we got to share our sacred spaces with everybody. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with unity and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. I have nothing against unity, but I feel like it is very, 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 very unethical to unify everything. That's besides the point. I feel like somebody would take that out of context, because I know what I'm trying to say. Like, everything does not need to be shared. Some things need to be need some gatekeeping. They need to be kept quiet on the creek. Like, shh, quiet on the creek. And if you don't get it, then you don't get it. But it's just like, some things I feel like need to be held in our community. And that's kind of the point I was making to him. I'm like, some things need to be held in our community. I'm like, we share enough as is. And I am tired as a black person seeing our sacred spaces become public domain. Let's put some copyright on the shit. But anyways, like, I mean, which there is nothing wrong of which what he said, because like I said, every truth is subjective, but there is nothing subjective about the black collective wanting to withhold general public accessibility to our shit. Like, what? I don't know. I'm not really gonna whatever that. But I just know that I kind of stopped talking to him after that a little bit because I didn't even know how to basically speak on that. But now that I'm kind of here, I'm kind of just like, you don't get to speak on my black that you will never have to physically wear. Like, you get the leisure to get mistaken as other races, as like Hawaiian or Italian or like some type of other European country. Like, you get the ability to not have to have black stamped on you immediately unless somebody saw your family or you tell them, like, hey, I'm black, I'm a black man. Like, nobody will treat you the same way as they would treat me. If we were to go for the same job, my dear uncle, we were to go to the same job, do you know who they're going to pick? They're going to pick you. They're going to pick you. And I think we know why they're going to pick you. Like, in that moment, I was just like, there's no way that he's trying to speak on my black experience. I'm like, because that's how I took it. And there's times where I literally want to speak to him about so many different things where I'm just like, gang, my black experience is not yours. You get to mesh with other groups. Like, dog, your wife is Italian and you don't gotta worry about the bigotry or the downright disgusting like shit that can come from other races because you pass. Now granted, her family's amazing. Her family is very amazing and I love them down. Like, genuinely, her family has done nothing wrong to me. Point blank. But if you get to watch this video, I just want to let you know that the same places that you walk with some type of like alleviated mind, I'm walking with caution. Especially in times like this where not only are people like getting like straight up fucked up on the streets simply for being black. Like, I hope you know that we've had a couple of lynchings happen this month simply because somebody is black and somebody felt envious. But at the same time, they're going against LGBTQIA plus rights, which is leading other people to go after people who identify with that. Gang, like, the stakes are so high right now. The stakes are so high. The places you get to freely be alleviated, I am still walking with caution. And there's no way that day you thought you could speak on my black as if you don't get to hide yours and people have to tolerate mine. Like, I've shown some of my friends pictures of you and they're like, that's your uncle? Like, yeah, nigga, that's my uncle. That's his sister and those are his parents. Yeah, that's my uncle. Who, what, like, what? Did you think I was adopted or something? Stakes are high these days. Stakes are very high. But I did not appreciate how, like, that was the way you took it. But I can't really be mad at you either because that's your subjectivity and I'm not whatever at that. But yeah, I just remember I did not talk to him for a little bit after that because I was just like, there is no way this black man tried to speak on a black experience that would never really come face to face with him. It would just bypass him. It would just bypass you. There is no target on your face. There is no bullet map on your back. There is none. It don't exist on you. Even if you say something, well, you're one of the good ones. But besides the point, like I said, I remember I stopped talking to him after that a little bit. And then going fast forward to high school, which really had me stop talking to him, was when he didn't show up to my graduation. I know you faked sick that day. I know you did. Because if it's one thing that I don't think a lot of you, and if any other family members see this video, I want to make this very clear. Energetically, I can pick up on you. I can pick up on you energetically. I can pick up on you patternistically. And I can pick up on you in so many different ways that you wonder why I'm starting to back out. You need to start looking in the mirror. If you didn't want to come to my graduation, you should have just said that. I am turning 20 years old. I am turning 20 years old, which means I can have conversations that hold a little more weight. I don't have to be babied. I don't have to be talked at like I don't understand shit. You can actually talk to me like an adult. And you know, when I started picking up on this abandonment trilogy, when you started telling us to meet you halfway, when a garage pickup turned into a DSW stop. And then I've had to beg on me and my sister's behalf multiple different times on multiple different occasions. Hey, can we come over for this? Hey, can we come over? Mind you, we're asking you in advance. It don't even gotta be this month. It could have been another month. I get it, you're busy. But damn, if you don't want to see us, then just say that. If you didn't want to go to the graduation, just say that. I hope you know that I was emotionally scrambling the day before my high school graduation because you chose to play sick. I don't care if it was just you that showed up. I just wanted to see you at some point. I just wanted to see you at some point. But I could barely scrap that from you. I could barely scrap that. So you know what I did? Gave the fuck up. I gave the fuck up at that moment in time. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to, and the same applied to your sister. The same applied to your sister, my mother. I'm not going to fight for the attention from niggas who don't want it in the fucking first place. I'm not fighting, and this goes for any family member. I'm not fighting for your attention. I'm not fighting for that shit. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I am no longer going in your inbox or in your messages and begging to see you when all you do is change the goalpost on me. Oh, we can't do it this week. We'll do it next week. Oh, we'll do it next month. Oh, we'll have to see y'all some other month. Then just say you don't want to fucking see me right now. Just say that. You don't want to fucking see me. And I can't get mad at that. I can't get mad at that. Because at the end of the day, just like how you're an adult, I'm an adult too. I'm about to, what my dad calls a gaw. G-A-W. You know what a gaw is? A grown-ass woman. I'm about to be a grown-ass woman, and I don't got time to be dealing with other grown-ass men or grown-ass women who don't know how to say something. If you didn't want to see me that day, you should have said, Amber, I honestly do not feel comfortable with you or your sister coming over. Even if I ask why, I'm going to have to sit with the fact that you said that. I can accept that more than you saying yes to something, than faking and playing sick as if I can't see Instagram stories and I can't see social media. Thank you for watching online, but it would have been so much better if you were in person. I wanted you in person. I'm lucky I found somebody for the damn ticket. I really am. I really am lucky that I did. But that for me was like, I mean, damn, energetically, you lied. You didn't have to. You could have just said that you didn't want to go. Proceeded to not show up to the graduation party. I don't expect you to be there that long, man. Just maybe a drop in and shit. Like, I had to see you separately. Which, again, I honored that. Then the last time I didn't say nothing. Honestly, when it came to our organist's funeral, I didn't even want to say nothing to you then. Because what the fuck am I supposed to say to you? What the fuck did you expect me to say to you? I hope you know that every single move you made from the day you came over here and performed the way you did to now, I see that as abandonment. I see you showing up for people where I'm like, damn, what the fuck did I do at the age of 16 to 17, going on 18 years old to you where I'm just some alias? I'm sure people know about me because my picture is still on your refrigerator, but it's like, damn. The conversation is going to be had at some point where I'm going to sit there and I'm going to confront you about the actions that you made. I don't talk out of my ass. I don't say stuff just to say stuff. There's times where genuinely I have to sit there and wonder, what was your thought process of these moves, and did you not expect that there was going to be a long form consequence? Because the time you choose to probably come back is the time where most of us, or some, maybe even me, hopefully not, but maybe me in the future, I will not be interested. I will not be interested because you went that long. Because you went that freaking long. It was not appreciated. Man, just, if you didn't want to go, why weren't you just fucking honest about it? Honestly, why just weren't you honest about it? Because if it's one thing that you and your sister have in common, is emotional negligence. Emotional negligence. There's one writes in red ink and the other one does it in bold print. I remember times where I have begged my mother, even when she didn't want me and my sister to be over there alone, I begged her to go. I have begged her. I didn't even know we was picking sides in this bitch. I didn't know we was doing that. But anyways, besides the point, because what would I know? I barely talk to the both of them. I barely talk to anybody nowadays. I barely do, because I'm sick and tired of every fucking body. Half the time. I really am. I really am. At the end of the day, you're probably sitting here wondering, Amber, why the hell was this even a video being made? Because lately, I have been thinking about the absolute fucks that I don't give right now. And genuinely, if there's something that you want to fix, you better start fixing it now. You better start fixing it now, or if there is no fix, you better start talking. Explain, maybe. Because I saw that shit as abandonment. For the both of y'all, actually. I saw that shit as abandonment. Where I'm left in the fucking middle at some point, and I gotta figure out, what the hell did I do wrong? There's times where honestly I wish I never went over to my uncle's house and said what I said. Because maybe he would still come around and pretend to want to be around. Maybe I would still be able to hang out with him and my aunt and whoever the fuck else is over there. Maybe I'd still be able to see them. Still be able to see a portion of people that I call family. Damn it. There's times where I wish I never said that shit. Because I wouldn't have to be able to be okay with mourning the living. I think that's why I've been so just pissed off lately. Because I'm just like, whoa, shit. I wish I never fucking said that. Because maybe at least most of my family would be able to just want to act like they want to be around each other. Because for a portion, everybody fucking hated each other. Everybody did. Nobody could stand to be in anybody's freaking presence. And that's a bitch to live with. Honestly, it is. I'm not saying that you have to. I'm not saying that I'm not gonna forgive these people and stuff right now, but and stuff like that, because honestly, they've been like, I don't want to. They've been partially forgiven. They've been partially forgiven. But I really want to make it apparent that I'm still holding it on y'all motherfucking necks until you take proper accountability for what happened. Because at the end of the day, even for both of the individuals that I talked about today, y'all still, I was a child, okay? I was a freaking child. I was a child trying to survive the shit that honestly the majority of y'all added to. Majority of y'all added to this. And don't even realize it. But it's just fucked me, I guess. Anyways, it's been 9 months and some dollars since I've had my locks. Headed to a year. I am 19, going on 20 years old. I'm still going to school for forensic psychology. And until next time, bye-bye.